A good place to start in terms of discussing distances in space is looking at the relationships between the Earth and the Moon. If the Earth was your average globe, as shown here, the Moon would be around the size of an apple. Great, but how far apart are the two of them? If you were to ask your average student, they would probably hold their arms wide and say, probably about that far. Actually, it's a lot farther than you think, and you can show this by wrapping string around the globe 9 times, because that is the distance in this model from the Moon to the Earth. You can then really lay that out down the corridor in the classroom to give students a feel for just how big that distance really is. In comparison, the International Space Station would probably be just hovering just above the Earth somewhere here. Another common misconception is that the planets are somewhat equally spaced along the solar system. This is a common misconception because this is how the planets are normally portrayed in most pictures, but actually it's very hard to show both the difference in size in planets and the distances between them in one drawing. This activity from the School Space Observatory actually gives a much more realistic understanding of the placement of the planets in the solar system, and all it needs is a strip of card about 30 centimetres long. What you do is you can start off with one end, write the Sun on one end, dwarf planets on the other. You fold it in half on the crease. You then write Uranus, and there is a system of instructions if you follow the link, which will then result in something like this, where you have essentially the Sun, Mars, Venus, all in this very tiny bit up here, and then Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus all gets lots more spread out, and so actually you can see that a lot of the smaller planets are all in this area, and the gas giants are very much more spread out across the solar system. There's another lovely activity from Ogden called Play-Doh Planets, which again helps give an idea of the relative sizes between planets, and it's an activity that involves taking a roll of Play-Doh, putting it in half and allocating various different bits to different planets. You take this bit, allocate 5, most of that mass then goes to Saturn and Jupiter, and you end up sort of making a very tiny planet sort of down this end towards the end of the activity. Again, the link is in the course notes. Once you've gone through the activity doing all the different divisions, you should have a solar system that looks a little something like this. While these activities are covering concepts that are commonly sort of gone through first at Key Stage 2, it's worth looking at again at these at Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 4, just to really help your students kind of try and comprehend the absolute scale of space and the immenseness of it, and it's a really good sort of practice of some of their numeracy skills.